What if female Deku was Charlotte Linlin, part 4, the final part? As we go, as Big Mom is leaving the USJ, as Vander is sitting outside in his car, as Big Mom's surprised as Vander wasn't supposed to pick her up for at least a few hours. As she'd walk to the front, Vander, what are you doing here? Listen, I got an interesting phone call. You need to come back to the mansion right away. Really? Yes, come on. Your mother is worried. Very well. As she gets in the back, as Napoleon's like, I wonder what your mother wants, Mama. As Zeus comes out, yeah, he sounds a bit worried. Well, I will have to find out. As Prometheus comes out, well, while we wait, why don't we enjoy some sweets, Mama? And she's like, yes. As she opens her bags where she had some sweets left over. She grabs a bit of M&Ms, starts to snack on them. Just grabbed a random candy bar, just ate that too. Just started to enjoy the food. As they're making their way back to the Midoriya estate. As we have Inko Midoriya seemingly going through stuff. Like, going on a computer, typing. As we see a security system has been set. The building's on, like, full lockdown. Alright. It seems like everything's set up. There's no way he's gonna get in. As then an explosion is heard. As several Nomu happen to be attacking the estate. As we see All For One, who's just standing over there. All For One. Come on now. Inko Midoriya, you can't just hide your kid away from me. Her quark is powerful enough to where I can defeat All Might. As then a whole bunch of machine guns start coming out from the walls and start blasting at the Nomu towards All For One. Yeah, they're obviously gonna have a high-tech security system if you're rich. So it takes out several Nomu, but the Nomus are starting to break through the wall, tear down the guns. As they're starting to move through the mansion. As All For One just makes large holes in the mansion as well. As Izumi doesn't know this is going on. He's with bandit. As she's just simply eating while she's waiting to get back to her estate. All For One starts to walk the halls of, the Midoriya estate, looking for Inko Midoriya. As then just suddenly, two machine guns start firing as he makes an air shield that blocks the attacks. As he just sends them back and just destroys the machine guns. As he would just simply break the wall, seeing the word Inko Midoriya. Now where is your daughter, Inko Midoriya? Why do you want her? Her quark of hers could be very useful to me. She simply defeated the Nomu I prepared for All Might. To defeat All Might with ease. And defeat so many villains without taking a sweat. Imagine if I had that power. I would be unstoppable. As this is when their car just pulls up to the estate. As she sees this mayhem happening. And all that. As she's like, as there's several of them are running towards the car. As she says, Prometheus. As Prometheus just goes out the window and just burns several of them. As we go back to Inko Midoriya and All For One's conversation. And after all, can't I just see her? We did work together in the past. I'm not letting you have anything to do with my daughter. I may have done some deals with you in the past, but that is past. I don't do that anymore. Why, such a shame. I just need your daughter, not you. As he raises up a finger, ready to send a black tendril, as then when he knows several Nomu go flying through. You may still be used to me yet. As he goes out to grab, as then suddenly a large, blade just seemingly cuts his arm. As he backs up, as Napoleon had hit the wall, as he would get out of the wall and just fly towards Mama. As Izumi is angry, as a lot of the Nomus had been turned to ash by lightning and Prometheus, as they are huge right now. As Big Mom Deku is angry, as she's standing, as All For One's getting a little bit of a sweat just by looking at the intense presence to kill. What's this high tense presence? As he looks over and sees Big Mom, as he just smiles, once I touch her and take her quirk, I'll be able to be unstoppable. As he rushes towards Big Mom, as well, Zeus sends several electric attacks, and Prometheus sends fire attacks towards All For One, as he uses an air bubble, but it pushes him back, as it is doing several damage to the shield. That's impossible. This thing is very strong. Can even withstand All Might's punches. As then Big Mom would raise a fist before punching, breaking through his air shield, hitting him and sending him to the building. You dare hurt my mother? Yeah, Mama, get him. Can I burn him to ashes? Can I electrocute him to death? Let me slash him to pieces. As All For One gets out of the rubble, dusting himself off. Why you? As he sends several black tendrils towards Big Mom, not even piercing the skin. Then Napoleon just pops out into a sword and just cuts the black tendrils. As All For One rushes towards Big Mom, as Napoleon turns into a sword, as she swings Napoleon. As All For One barely manages to dodge, as it cuts his shoulder, as he quickly regenerates, as Big Mom is throwing a punch with Zeus, as he barely managed to put up an air ball before destroying it and hitting him right in the ribs, breaking a few ribs as he sent flying through the estate of the Midoriya mansion, sending him flying in the air, as then Big Mom jumps and just does a hammer, fist together, and just hitting the ground, as Mama would then send a combined attack of Zeus and Prometheus, doing some major damage to All For One. As he gets up, his suit is pretty much destroyed, and Izumi comes in with another punch. All For One barely manages to dodge this time. As he's exhausted, as he leans over as Big Mom swung, and as he grabs her arm, as she tries to take her quirk, but fails. This is causing Napoleon to strike and cutting his chest, as he falls back to the ground. As this in her anger, Izuku had grown bigger, and the electricity, fire, and Napoleon combining their power, ready to finish off All For One. As All For One is a bit terrified, as he tries to get up and runs away, as she grabs her hand before grabbing All For One's soul and ripping it out of his body. As she has those crazy eyes, you would kind of see her in a hunger pain, as she would simply just devour All For One's soul, as he would just drop right there as a lifeless husk. As she would then go on to take her anger out on the remaining Nomus. And this would cause most of the estate to catch fire, and etc., etc. What's ever left of the estate is pretty much just the kitchen. And her room, and the basement, where they store all the extra food for Big Mom. As we just go to the vehicle, as we see Vander just drinking a sip of tea like it's just an average Tuesday for him. Yeah, I knew this was going to happen. As he just looks at the clock. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big Mom Deku just collapses after using so much energy because she hasn't used that much in a while, and her new body can't really sustain going into a rage mode as long as her last one. So, yeah. As Inko comes out, you knew how to stop her? You're not home a lot, so yeah, this is normal. What'd she do? Oh, you don't know. She sometimes gets these pains when she's craving a certain food. I have every type of food imaginable in the basement, so we'll be fine. How do you know of this and I didn't? Butler's intuition, I gotta say. Then why didn't you do anything to help her? As we just see like a Nomu try to like attack Inko as a bullet went right by as a pistol had shot it. As he blows the gun, take a look behind the truck. Or sorry, behind the limo. As we just see a pile of corpses of Nomus with bullets through their heads. I was helping clear the estate. Especially, I had to get my old skills turned up as a Nomu just pops out of the ground, ready to attack, as he just punches it in the head, causing it to explode. Also, I've got some ridiculous strength. Thing was easy. Especially when you're part of the special forces like I was. Anyway, should we head to the backup estate I had prepared? The backup estate? Yes, the backup estate. Very well. As they would grab Big Mom and they would technically go to the backup estate. As of course Inko Midori would have to people clean up the damages, transfer all the food to the other estate. Essential. Now, the rest we go as canon as we get to the, well, I'm just going to skip right on into the internships. As she just takes an internship with someone that was doing the raid for the All for One. Just someone. It could be a lesser hero. You know what? I'm going to use this hero because I don't seem to use him at all. The hero that can really just lock people in place. I have no idea what his name is, though. But she interned with him for some reason. As this is where this is going to get funny. As we're moving through the overhaul state, as Big Mom's just walking. As of course someone's turning around the room and all that. Big Mom senses him with observation hockey. And simply just throws Napoleon. Landing right near the guy. As Napoleon's had, as the guy's like size, as Napoleon opens his eyes, and this scares the guy in the wall, moving the structure around. As Napoleon would then move and hang this guy out of the wall and going through the ground. As he would get apprehended. Of course, Mirio would go all around fighting all that. As Big Mom would show up right when Mirko got hit with the Cork erasing bullet. As Big Mom would look at Eri. As she'd like go into like her mother mode, I guess, that she has. As she would walk over and ask her if she's alright. As she would just nod as Overhaul would try to grab Eri. As she would swing her arm, sending Overhaul into the wall. You don't have to worry about the bad man. After all, I'm here to help you. As we just see Zeus and Prometheus just electrocuting, frying Overhaul. Like, repeat, shock, fire, blade, shock, fire, blade, shock, fire, blade. As we just see this man that's puffing black smoke out of his breath. As then Izumi would turn around before giving one final punch to Overhaul, breaking both of his arms, his ribs, and his legs. With third-degree burns, as well as some shock therapy, so he's not going to feel his nerves for a bit. And basically, Big Mom would take in Eri. As she would give Eri a sweet. As technically, Inka, she's not old enough to adopt, really, Eri. So, Inka will adopt. As Big Mom would meet with Shoji and several of the classmates after some coming years. She would become a successful hero, only because it comes to her benefit. But essentially, she helped raise Eri and all that. Shoji just came over a lot and all that, as Shoji and Big Mom had become good friends. And that is the end of What If Female Deku was Charlotte Linlin, or Big Mom. Make sure to like and subscribe for more.